Hey everyone, this is Zav D'Amatos, and I'm joined by Dave Hinkle, who recently saw The Wolf Among Us, the new episodic game from Telltale coming out this fall for the Xbox 360, PS3, Mac, and PC.
Yeah, I got to check out the game last week running on Xbox 360. Unfortunately, I didn't get to play it. It was driven by a PR person, but it was a lengthy hour-and-a-half long demo taking place in the middle-ish area, I was told, of the first episode of planned 5 episodes.
The Wolf Among Us is a prequel to the first trade of the comic book series Fables from writer Bill Willingham, right, Dave?
Yeah, it takes place in a modern-day New York setting, Brooklyn to be exact, in this area called Fabletown, where all these fairy tale creatures have kind of taken asylum. They are exiled from their original fairy tale world. So you have, classic heroes and villains like the Huntsman, Big Bad Wolf, Red Riding Hood, Beauty and the Beast, all living within this one area, this one neighborhood of New York City.
Hey, Magic Mirror, I got a question.
You know the rule.
Mirror, mirror, if you're able, tell me all about this fable.
Part of your written preview for The Wolf Among Us touches on the theme of redemption that people will find in the game when it comes out later this year.
Yeah, you can actually read it on joystick.com right now, and you play as Bigby Wolf in The Wolf Among Us, who is, you may have guessed, the Big Bad Wolf. He's a guy who is kind of trying to escape his past, but yet he can't really do that because he has all these fantastical creatures and people who have known him for a long time. He has to deal with them now, and his new role is sheriff. It's kind of an interesting twist for him, being an antagonist before and kind of switching over to the protagonist role. And he finds it kind of hard, at least in the hour and a half that I've seen, of walking that line between being good and falling into his old ways. There's one violent encounter with the Huntsman, who you may remember from some tales. That's the individual that saves Little Red Riding Hood from the Big Bad Wolf. It's really interesting to watch him deal with somebody he has such a past with, because they get in a fight and, Bigby kind of almost lets his inner animal out. He gets really violent. It's really extreme, but we only find out afterwards that fables are apparently very hard to kill, so it's all justified. But still, to see those flashes of morality and his past self come through, you can really tell that character is dealing with a struggle.
Since The Wolf Among Us is a new adventure game from Telltale, people may have assumptions about how the game works mechanically. What has evolved since The Walking Dead?
Those assumptions are largely correct. I mean, it is an adventure game, but one of the things I thought was really interesting in evolution was the QTEs, right? Like, there are a lot of quick time events in the game, and now, whereas in past games, these sequences might be kind of static, so that if you fail it, then you pretty much know what buttons you have to hit the next time. It doesn't change. When you're fighting the Huntsman, you actually have a little variety. They scuffle inside of this apartment, and Bigby can throw the Huntsman into different objects within the environment, which will then trigger smaller, like, QTE segments that are a little bit different than the overall kind of arching fight. But again, it's largely an adventure game, so you need to understand that you will be hitting the A button on things a bunch of times.
Drinking? This early? Where did you get that?
It was by Mr. Ichabod's desk.
Then don't you think it probably belongs to him?
What I can say with certainty is that his favorite brand of cigarettes are Huff and Puff. Get it, Huff and Puff? Get it, Huff and Puff, though? The three little piggies?
I get it. Your friends at Joystick to remind you that smoking is bad.
Yeah. Well, I think my favorite part of the character is just how hooked on meth he is. It's really something I can personally identify with.
Mr. Toad? Oh, shit.